This is Louis7 and I am streaming the Lord of the Rings Online very late for me, but I still wanted to do this stream, so mainly just going to be going about the mission system in this stream. And I'm going to start by just going through the intro mission, the one you get to introduce you to the system, but yeah, I'm going to be on my hunter here and I have not actually been to there on him, so just going to travel and really go through the mission system as I mentioned. So I guess I want to briefly mention real quick that this stream is so late because I just got done with my work and had a snack and basically started the stream, and I know it's a lot later than my usual content, so I don't know how many people will watch it live, but in general I hope this video / stream will be helpful for people to see the mission system. And I'm going to be running through it on a lot of different characters, a lot of different levels, and a lot of different classes. So I will probably start out, before I actually start the intro mission, I forgot to get this stuff set up, or while I'm doing the intro mission maybe I'll get this, but there is some new information regarding the missions. Actually a couple new points I have. So first off, the daily and weekly quest you cannot get until you do all the quests in the new zone Elderslade, which is super weird and makes no sense to me at least, but it makes a little bit of sense, but overall it doesn't make much sense to me. And then the other thing is we actually had a developer talk a little bit about the mission system, which I think is one of the things we needed before the update went live so we could know more about it, and when we were doing the beta so we could test for things that they mentioned. But anyway, setting that aside, I think it is exciting or good that we finally had some input from Standing Stone Games in on the mission system. But yeah, I know the last stream yesterday I did a lot of missions, and if you all are wondering why I get this message, you entered a restricted area and you will be removed. I won't actually be removed, but that's just because I'm playing on Anor, the legendary server, which is one of the great things about missions is you can do them on the server. Oh, what was I just going on about before that distraction? But yeah, the first mission, this kind of intro one, the main gates here, it goes by pretty quickly. It's probably more involved than any other mission just because you actually have to follow the NPC around. I think a lot of the other ones, even if they have NPCs, they don't quite make you do that, even though some of them are fairly involved. I don't know what we'll have on rotation for today, but yeah, I basically do plan to do every mission. We'll probably do every one a couple times just on different characters and the such. But yeah, there are a bunch of things I want to look at today because I do plan to make, at least right now I'm planning to make a few videos on the missions system. So it's good for me personally to get some updated fresh gameplay with it and actually take the time to do it on different characters and just go about it a little bit, get more of my thoughts on it, and get more, I don't know, data is the right word, but a little bit kind of data on what you actually get from the missions. Basically you get mob loot and cosmetics as far as the rewards for the barter, I think. Hello, Pedigree, you said hearing from a developer talk about the missions. I don't know if you dropped a word there, but we did hear from a developer talk about the missions. That's actually, I forgot I was going to pull that up while we were doing probably this waiting part. So in the intro mission, we have to wait for this guy while we just sit here. And then hello, Nick Caldall. You asked if the missions are only on live servers or on Anor too, and actually I'm playing on Anor right now, so they're on Anor. They're on the legendary servers, which is a good thing to me. Ithel is the other legendary server, yes. But here we go. I think I can show this while we're supposed to be paying attention to the mission. So let's see how this works. Yep, there we go. Well, it might cut off a little bit, but basically Made of Lions, I think they're a developer for LOTRO. I'm not exactly sure what they do. I think a lot involving quests, maybe a story. I'm not entirely sure, so I don't want to say for sure, but basically they made this post of a few paragraphs explaining the mission system, and that's what it is. So I'm going to go ahead and turn that off so we can actually pay attention. I'll talk a little bit about that and what they said a little bit later. It's a good time to be a yellow hunter. But yeah, I also wanted to do missions on different classes and different specs just to get that idea of how they all perform in them. I assume the missions are fairly easy, but that's one thing I'm curious if I'll find if it's actually harder on any classes, like noticeably harder. Oh. So Pedigree, you were asking, or you were answering my question of what was I talking about. Unfortunately, with the stream delay, it's like a 20-second delay or something like that, I think. But that's just like sometimes too long for me to remember something like a question like that I asked. Yeah, it looks like I'm getting pretty much the standard stuff that you would get for this level. It's one thing I like about this compared to like skirmishes. I know skirmishes you can set to your level and scale like that, but the mobs don't drop any loot. So it's nice this one you get standard loot basically for the level for whatever different type of mob. Even like the task item scale properly to your level, or whatever level you set the mission to, which is your level. But yeah, that's pretty much the missions, the intro mission. Just takes a little bit of time, maybe even slightly longer than the regular missions. And you get a big chunk of your reward from that. So Pedigree said the missions are easy on a level 20 burglar. That is good to know. I haven't run any on my burglar yet. Thought about getting that today if we have time. I really want to explore them on a bunch of different classes. First off, I have the hunter here. I haven't even talked about this character. So I thought I'd try it on the hunter, maybe switch to the blue line. The blue line's good. But also try the yellow line here. I have no idea where to put the skill. We'll put it at 8. But yeah, I'll just run through a few of these missions. Maybe I'll go in backwards order from this NPC for the hunter character. And while I'm running through, let's see, this first mission that we have here is to defeat a mob. So I assume it's like some boss mob at the end of this. And a lot of these you can just actually run through. So I could just like run through this area and not really care about all these little NPCs. Except while leveling, a big portion of the XP you get, at least it looks like a big portion, is actually going to be from killing mobs. So compared to the quest reward XP of 3,200 I got for the green mobs, that's actually not even a good comparison, but for the green mobs I got 145, so that's like, I think a normal mob is about double of a green, but I'm actually not entirely sure. Signature is 297, so probably not double. Signature is more like double a green, but basically a lot of the XP you get seems to be from mob kills from my experience so far. So if I'm running these for XP, I think killing all the mobs would be the best way, and it's more fun. But yeah, I guess early on it's good for me to talk about my perspective from the mission so far, and I gave like a full missions review, but I don't mind repeating anything that I might have talked about on that video, because the stream is really to explore the missions and go over as much as I can in a stream and talk about it with chat as anything comes up. So I actually pulled enough that I'm getting in a little bit of a dangerous situation here. Not really dangerous, I'm making it extra dangerous by not paying attention to the game. So that would not be a typical scenario to die in. I'm just being extra bad right now in my gameplay. It is good to know that like the powder burns, that actually does a decent amount of damage, where I do have to pay a little bit of attention to it at least. There are a lot of missions I've noticed. This is actually Sunderground, but there are a lot of missions in environments like this with oh, I'm also in a bad situation right now with the damage over time is not removable, so it does a little bit of damage over time basically. I'm going to use a potion. I think I used the wrong one actually. Yeah, that damage over time, it just keeps going on and on. I think it finally went off. I was probably one tick away from death. So Jason Hubert, you said if you run through without killing the mobs, don't lose aggro. That is good to know, because some classes or some characters or some players that pay more attention than I am doing right now, you can just run through the whole thing, then AoE everything down. And I think that functions like a lot of instances. That's kind of how I'd expect it to function, but it's good to have confirmation that that's how it works. But yeah, with the missions, one of the things I really like about them, and I will actually say overall I just like the idea of missions. I think they are a great idea. Some of the implementation I don't quite like as much. And I think that's where a lot of the, I don't know, decisions around the missions, not the actual content of the missions, but some of the just the circumstances, I guess, around the missions, like with the rewards and things like that, I don't think are as good. But oh yeah, walking in the fire is probably not a good idea. I wonder, well here, I'm actually at the boss now. I should be able to play Yellow Line a lot longer. I like the Yellow Line Hunter, especially at this level, but I'm just seeming to run into some issues of running into fire. Oh, this mission, the dwarf came to the end. A lot of them you have to run back, but I think when they're like named NPCs or something that actually takes you to an end, usually the dwarf will run to you and you'll be able to turn it in that way. But yeah, I guess now's a good time to talk about the rewards from missions. So of course we don't have the daily and weekly, because apparently you have to run through all the Elder Slade quests for that, which still doesn't make sense because there are actually two sets of those. One of them's from these NPCs, and they have to do, I think, more with the zone there for level 130 only, at least in the beta. That's how it worked in the beta. This guy was available, the daily and weeklies were just like available. You didn't have to do anything to unlock them. So I'll finish that. But yeah, the rewards are pretty much just cosmetics, and one of the things that the developer that replied about the missions and what they're for, I don't know where I was going, but basically one of the things to make missions actually worth running is having valuable rewards. Right now we have cosmetics, so there's not much of a reason for people to run them unless you want cosmetics or just something super simple to boot up with the gameplay. And Pettigrew, you said you haven't had any chests at the end of any mission. Was that a thing? That was a thing for only level 130 characters. So level 130 characters get a chest at the end. And I have confirmed that's still how it works. So I need to destroy cold worm nests here. Looks like we have some signature worms. I probably should switch the specs. Yellow Line, it is great, but I've been wanting to test this with different like specs and characters. I think at this level strength stance can be good. I don't want to spend too much time on just like one trait point, so I'll put it in that. But yeah, anyway, I did want to test this on like different spec characters, and Red Line Hunter is a good one to briefly try, and then I'll probably do Blue Line Hunter next. And even these signatures in the missions I can kill before they even get to me. I haven't even used like Heartseeker yet. And I guess I should have looked back, paid attention. The XP I got for that mission was 1800 about. So after about less than 10 of these mob kills actually of the signatures, I'd make up that XP. So it really does seem like a crazy amount of the XP is from mob kills. And I don't know how it compares to regular mobs. That would actually probably be a good thing. Another good thing for me to actually check and compare it to. Because I would need to kill, what, about 100? I don't think that's right. Maybe 100. Let me take a minute to think here. 300. It's way too late for this for me. So yeah, about 100 mobs and I'll get almost a level's worth of XP. Also need to be destroying the cold worm nest. Hello, Alejandro Fernandez. You asked if I know when this will be available for LOTRO points. Unfortunately, I don't. That's one of the things I kind of wish with the update, the mini expansion, is that it was available for LOTRO points right off the bat, like right away. But unfortunately, that is not the case, and I just don't know when. Hopefully, it is not that long, at least like not that long compared to the expansions, which I think were a few months. Mordor and Minas Morgul. Do I keep going into the same area? But one thing I like about the missions is they're super easy to just boot up and run, and that's one of the things the developer that replied to the post saying what the missions are. That was kind of one of the key features, is that they are super simple to just like spend a few minutes and get a decent amount of gameplay. And if we had the daily, if the daily was working as I personally think it should and as it worked in the beta, then you could also like work towards that every day on whatever character, and just something like super simple like that. It's one of the things I really like about it. But again, for people to actually want to participate in it, I just feel like there need to be more rewards, really. And especially if it's meant to be, you can do like 80 missions or whatever. If you try to do all those on a leveling character, you would want to get stuff on your character while they level, otherwise you'll have outdated gear and a bunch of stuff like that. Like if I just leveled this character through missions, it seems like it'd be pretty viable as far as the XP I could get. But I wouldn't get any rewards. I'd get mob drops. I will say that I would get those, but usually that is not enough to... Just usually mob drops like this aren't strong enough, I guess would be the best way to put it. I'll probably be running on overflow with my inventory soon. So, Alejandro, you're guessing when the next quest pack is, it'll be available for LOTRO points. Yeah, the next quest pack is an interesting topic because I'm actually going to run. You have to run quite a bit far to sell, but it's in this building at least. But yeah, that's an interesting topic because the next quest pack could be the Gundabad expansion. For me, that wouldn't make much sense personally. I feel like they would have a regular update or two before a full Gundabad expansion. I don't know what they would do, but to me, it would make more sense that there is going to be some regular quest pack before Gundabad. But a lot of people suspect that the next update will be Gundabad, so like update 29 will be a Gundabad expansion. To me, it mainly doesn't make sense just because that would be, assuming it's in like 4, 5, 6 months, it would be kind of in the middle or early next year even, which usually isn't the time to release like full expansions like that. Usually they're released kind of around this time in fall. So I would kind of suspect there might be a regular quest pack, but I really have no idea where it would be or anything like that. I really don't know this character. I don't want to spend too much time managing my loot, so I'm just going to save some stuff that looks important. Oh, we have other pages here. Yeah, I assume I have all my best gear equipped. Oh, better save these fire oils. Yeah, clean inventory will be good for once we run these, because again, a good thing I think is that mobs do drop their regular loot, so at least you do get some stuff, even if it's not really that much rewarding for your character building. I feel like I'm so scattered with my thoughts about the missions right now. That's one good thing of a stream, in a way, just because I can go about talking about things as I think about them. But now I'm thinking of like another aspect that I like of the missions is that you go to so many different environments and things like that. So like this is in a different area than the other ones I did. One of them, I think, the ones with the worms, was like more in an outdoor ruins, and then we went to Sundergrot, I think that's the name of the place. So a little cave area in the Wells of Langflood and Shakal Atrad. I have no idea where this is, and I didn't even read what I needed to do for the mission. I need to clear out the Ingmarum presence. And I guess to do that, I need to go down farther because I have not seen actually any Ingmarum. So, you would like to see a scouring of the Shire quest back in the near future. Yeah, I wonder if they're going to go there. I don't know exactly when that is in relation to the story. I just know it's sometime after the Great Wedding. I have no idea when after that. But that is something that is possible in the future. So I'm going to respec to the blue line. Let's see, somebody in my ken is talking about basically our access on the legendary server. So on Anor here, we can't actually go out onto the Elder Slate zone, even though we can get to the war room just fine. I honestly forget which one I pick, and it's too late for me to really think about it. That's the one problem with me streaming this late. So this is like I'm usually basically sleeping by now. I've just been basically up until now I've been extra busy at work and like with school and homework, but after today I am done with a lot of that stuff. And even though it is so late for me, again, like my normal bedtime, I still wanted to stream and check this stuff out, not just have like a stream today, but I probably would have wanted to spend some time playing a game anyway after all that. I know I did spend some time. I wonder if this is the end of the mission, and I feel like I'm playing the blue line very, very bad right now. Well, this one, there's actually quite a few mobs here. I wasn't really ready to jump into all this with the blue line. I think I'm even in the wrong stance, but there are a lot of signatures here. I'm kind of surprised this one just has more to it, this little fight with the boss here. Still got through it just fine. I'm kind of surprised to actually see 2 more people here on this server. So I have run through 3 missions pretty slowly on this character just because I'm going a little bit slow as I'm streaming and I'm getting a slate, so I'm like extra slow because of that. But I have gone through 3 missions now. I think I've gotten close to half a level's worth of XP. So the missions are super quick. If I was actually running these at like a normal pace, I'd be going through them a lot quicker. So it seems like, from my experience so far, they are somewhat decent for leveling, and that's one of the things I wanted to test today, so maybe this one I'll just try to go through a little bit quicker. With all the power of the blue line, I forgot to switch to the precision stance though. There we go. And I'm also jumping into a class I haven't played for a few weeks, so I'm like kind of remembering what all my keybinds are, first of all. That is one problem with switching between classes. I have different keybinds for different things. And just getting used to the playstyle with them. And that's going to be a little bit of a theme today, is I'm going to be switching classes a lot because I am curious testing these on different classes and just seeing at different levels all the different things. But yeah, this looks like the big boss. I was just kind of going through this area exploring it, but it looks like we did run into the big org that we need. I'm really having no danger with my health. I'm kind of surprised these orgs must not do much damage. I am running low on power though. Yeah, I see some corruption, so I'm guessing that is one of the big reasons we got our corruption removals at level 20 now, is because these guys have corruptions. And speaking of corruption removal, I think I am missing Blood Arrow. Wait, I'm spec'd into the blue line. That's why everything's so weird, because usually in the blue line I have my setup all different. Yeah, so that's one of the other things in this update. Again, thinking about things just like so scattered throughout the stream. But yeah, having the different models, Alejandro. And like the new warg models, I think they're pretty neat as well. There's a bunch of interesting enemies. I think the environments are interesting with the missions, and they take you all over the place and kind of add something new with it. Wait. That is super weird. So I'm actually, when I zoom out of the map, it says I'm in Sundergrot, but I'm actually right here and at Curfew, in the war room and whatever the zone is, Elder Slate. But yeah, we actually have one more available. Nope, that was the turn in. So yeah, that's all I wanted to do on this character. I just wanted to run through those. So I think I'll do another character on the server. I have my Warden on the server who I think I can run through the other NPCs, run through those missions on a different character. And then after this, I might switch to my Minstrel on Arkenstone. And maybe run through a couple different characters as well, depending on how things are going, how late it gets, and the time and all that. But one thing I just realized, I kind of forgot I didn't actually talk about the full developer post about the mission. So basically, one of the appeals of the mission system, or one of the ideas for it, was to decrease or just have something available for players that are newer to the game. So like level 20 players, if you're just starting LOTRO and you're new to it, there's like a ton of content in the game. And a lot of the people that are already playing LOTRO are like working on the new content, but new players can't really participate in that or see any of it, and it can be a little bit frustrating for them, and maybe they decide to not play because they can't really do that. So I think one of the ideas from the missions was to really allow new players and just low-level characters, allow alts to participate in the new content. Basically, the idea with the Elder Slate missions in particular. What spec am I? Melee? Okay. I definitely have not run this mission. I have no idea where this area is. Oh, it actually goes to the Glimmer Deep. I remember it a little bit now. Well, update 23, that was just so long ago, and I explored the zone, but I didn't end up questing through it all. But yeah, with the missions, it actually is a really good thing, I think, for that. The idea, again, this is kind of going into the ideas of the mission. I really like the whole system, but some of the implementation I don't think is as good. But anyway, that's just one of the things, because it is a good thing for new players to be able to participate in the new content in a way that makes sense with the story. So it's basically, you're participating in the war efforts. These dwarves have some missions for you to help, and it doesn't really matter where you are in the story. You get transported to this area and you can just help with the war efforts, and I really like that idea, and I think it does work for something like that. And then let's see, what was the next point in that post? Yeah, so one of the points was actually, if everybody is talking about Doors fighting to take Gundabad, and you're like level 20 something and you're killing spiders and lone lanes, you can't really connect to the new content. I guess I have to go way back. Again, some of the missions, the dwarf will come to the end, and some of them you have to run back. It looks like this one I have to run like halfway back. And then the next point was, yeah, you can feel like you're helping the dwarves and you're a part of it, even though you're like years behind in the storyline. You're still, it does in a way that makes sense that you're helping the dwarves with Gundabad and you're just like traveling there to participate in that. And again, allows like newer players to participate in the new story and lower level characters. And then, yeah, the next point was actually about Durin and the war, and that he needs people to help. So this plays into what I just talked about with the previous points, but because Durin needs people to help in the war efforts, you get to see the story of like all the different places. Of course, the story sometimes is just kill these NPCs in some random place that you aren't entirely sure where it is. Maybe you have been there before. Like we go through a lot of the zones in the area, like Scarhold, actually Arid Mithrin, like we were just at Glimmerdeep. But you do all these things in effort for the war. So this one I just need to defeat a bunch of things, so I can really, this is one of those scenarios where I can just run through and pull everything. I really shouldn't have any trouble on this character to do that. And this is another type of one that I think is fun, because it really is, this mission in particular, I haven't run it before, but it really seems like one that plays to the idea of being able to boot it up and get some good gameplay in just like a few minutes and complete the mission. Hello, Mama Bird, you said you're a new / returning player, and what do you need to do to purchase to play missions? So to play missions, you would need the New War of Three Peaks mini expansion. So that is only available on the LOTRO market. The LOTRO market recently had a new update specifically for the War of Three Peaks mini expansion. So you need the base edition though. You don't need any of the fancy collectors or ultimate edition if you don't want those. And the base edition is $20, and yeah, that's pretty much what it is because it just released. I don't know if they would ever have a sale on it for cheaper than that. It'll probably be available for in the LOTRO store for LOTRO points in the future, but we don't know the exact date. It could be like a couple months or a few weeks to a few months that it's finally added. Quick Toss Bloodied. I think so the Javelin Builder has a 20% chance to apply that. Like, I've seen that icon a few times, and every time I actually hover over it, I remember what it is, but I just didn't remember that time. So the last mission, we were actually outside the Glimmerdeep. It looks like this time we are in the Glimmerdeep. I just mentioned going back to, like, previous areas that maybe we've been, and this is one of the things new players haven't been here, so it's just an opportunity for them to be able to explore a little bit and like gain an interest in the area that was. Let's see, I'm finally getting through the full developer post. Yeah, so the last point in that post was like exploring the mission system in some other places and really having it so everybody can play the new content, and whatever content is can scale to the player's level. Of course, we've had similar things, so epic battles have scaled you up in level. I just thought I'd check what somebody in my kin has been, I think, interested or exploring the mission system as well, so thought I'd offer to run duo because that's one thing I'm interested in as well. I think it's basically the exact same mission. You get to just run it with 2 people, so easier in those regards, quicker, but like no extra reward or anything as far as I know. And I think I accidentally just used a potion. So I need to kill the frost color to Ghost, and I leveled up, it looks like, level 86. That's exciting. I've kind of somewhat abandoned this character, unfortunately, because of West Rohan, but I do not want to get into that today. So basically this character is caught behind a little bit. And actually doing the missions to level this character, that's one of the things I was planning on doing, so I don't mind running through them all. I should probably switch to the yellow line just because I'm in range stance so much though. And the Warden, just because I play the Warden a lot, I'm pretty familiar with how they do with the missions. It's one of the characters I did test yesterday. On and a lot of the beta I did on Louis my level 130 Warden. Hello, Keeper of Knowledge, and I play on both Anor and Arkenstone. This particular character I'm on right now is on Anor, the legendary server. I hope the typing isn't too loud. That's always one thing I worry about, just usually being kind of loud with thuds on my microphone. So one more mission, the 3 Wardens. I think I did run this one on at some point in the beta. I remember that name and I was just so interested by the 3 Wardens that I checked it out. So I did run this one once. I immediately recognized this environment. This is a tower, like an Angmarum tower, but I don't know where it is. Is it in Elderslade? Yeah, it actually looks like it's in the new zone in Elderslade. So I have not gotten to questing anywhere like this. Yeah, pretty much just run through and pull everything. I really don't have to pay attention to what is going on, it seems like, in any of these. I'm even getting killed by killing these mobs with some of my traits. Here is the 3rd Warden. And I think it looks like you can just jump down here, or just go down. I'm still in combat with something. I know I was pulling a bunch of things. I see somebody kind of running in a loop, it looks like, at the stairs, so probably coming down for me. Yeah, the turn-in for the missions, it really doesn't give as much XP as I think it did in the beta. I think in the beta it gave a lot more XP. It's kind of one of the things I've noticed, just compared to that. It gave me 36,000, which if I think about killing mobs, comparing it to that, I seem to get maybe killing 30 regular mobs would give me about, like, approximately the XP of the mission quest. I guess I can do these on this character. I have been wanting to level this Warden and give me just a little bit more playtime, and I know since I ran through these on the champion, I can just run through them real quick. I hope, other than saying quicker real quick, that I'm still making sense in the stream, because it really is getting kind of late for me. I was hoping that, because I was fairly wide awake at the start of the stream, again, getting done with a busy day, that's probably why I just hadn't winded down yet. And that's kind of I do want to explore a little bit because I didn't actually go back here and I remember seeing there were mobs here. So I was just kind of curious exploring here, getting a fuller picture of the environment, which again, I like that with the missions. This is actually, I think, Vales of Anduin. I kind of remember maybe doing, well, I think there were quests here, maybe dailies here, that I did before I didn't have to stop playing LOTRO, but before I had to take a break on YouTube. And like while I was in the middle of basically discovering all the end game with Vales of Anduin, all the dailies, I ran through maybe them once. This is a giant org. Like, that might be the biggest org I've ever seen in LOTRO. That's crazy. I keep seeing that person. They look kind of similar to somebody in my kinship, I think, and that's why I keep thinking it's somebody I recognize, but it is not. Oops, I think I just accepted all the missions, which is okay. I'll eventually get them all turned in, but I thought I was turning it in and doing all that. So this is the one for the Ingmar presence. So I just have to run down here and kill the boss pretty much, as we saw on the Hunter. And unfortunately, in a way, the rest of what I have to do today, just because there are only 8 missions available, is basically repeat what I've done just on different characters on different classes. But yeah, kind of, again, just to remind everyone or anybody new, the point today is to explore the missions on different characters, and I've been talking about my thoughts. Anything the chat wants to talk about, I'm pretty open to discussing. This one really gets a lot of mobs. I don't know. The missions actually have like different affixes that boost the enemies. Sometimes it'll be summon extra mobs. I don't know what the ones are for these. I haven't actually paid attention. So like if I go to this one, it says Twist Lieutenant of Gorgar. So the monster commander in this mission will attempt a brutal wounding attack. So there are things like that. And I think some of the one I already mentioned is that the regular mobs, sometimes they'll have one where they can do an induction and just summon more NPCs. Sundergrot. So I actually just quested here on Louisdom before update 2028 dropped, like a day or two before that. I think on Saturday actually is when I first quested here, and this was pretty dangerous on him as well. That knockback is really weird. I think that's one of the mission affixes, but it is really weird. But yeah, on this character I actually do have a little bit of concern just because the fire does so much damage. Of course, I also have stuff to survive that if I need to, like Never Surrender. Compared to the Hunter, I will say this particular mission is a lot easier so far, which we're basically to the end, I think. Well, I used the AoE morale tap and it did not heal me up. I just gotta hope to kill all these mobs before they can hit me with a bunch of fire again. A little bit of challenge is nice. One of the things with the mission system I feel like they could do is kind of like instances, make there be more difficulty tiers. I'm using really bad gambits. Whoa. I just heard a really... I guess sometimes LOTRO does that actually. It wasn't that weird, I just had to take a minute to think about it. But sometimes LOTRO will just like randomly make a full volume noise, even if I have the volume on it turned down. So it's at like 7% or something right now, based on viewer feedback in previous streams. That's basically what I've settled on for the audio, because LOTRO is a very loud game at full volume. So I have it at 7%, and sometimes it'll randomly make like a noise at 100%. through the speaker. So I think all of these are ready to turn in now. I somehow just like continued all of them instead of turning any of them in. So it's kind of fun to turn those all in at once. But I'm curious if this character has enough Gobbleaka war marks to barter for anything. I do, but I don't have enough reputation. Let's actually see the reputation. I really don't know how many of these it takes. I am at Idmol. I have no idea what Idmol means, and I have no idea what the next tier is. Let's see, it wants me to, it just says standing is too low, so I don't know what it wants me to be at. It also doesn't say if I like hover over it what standing I need to be, but I guess Imdul is not where I want to be, even though I have like enough of the war marks to barter for stuff now. But anyway, that is all I can do on this character. Let me see. Let's see, we're about 47 minutes into the stream. I might check one more character. I don't remember what characters I have on the server that I want to do this on. I did it on my Hunter. That was the one I wanted to see. Maybe my Guardian, this would be a good one. So yeah, I will run through these basically again on my Guardian just to get that little comparison of experience and get some XP. Another different level character. This one's almost the same as my Warden, but still a little bit different level. And hello, Jason Huber. Actually, I already said hello to you. Sorry for saying that twice, but you asked if I have seen the deed for missions, and you said it comes with some cosmetics. So I have seen the deed for missions. You need to run all 80 missions for it, as far as I know, which I have not done on any character. It'll take quite a while to finally finish that out on any character. I think in addition to cosmetics, it does come with, what are those things called? I think if I return to Standguard, I can get to places fairly easily. Basically, I want to go to like Bree or Thorin's Gate or somewhere where the Gobbleaka war effort stable master is. But yeah, in addition, I think I already mentioned this, but in addition to cosmetics, I think it used to come with 2,000 Virtue XP, but I have heard but not confirmed that it comes with 10,000 now. We can actually, after I do a mission, I'll try to remember to look on this character to actually look at the deed and see what the rewards are. And I guess I should point out, if anybody wants to see any class in particular, or maybe any level range, I can try to check on what I can, but again, right now I'm basically just picking random characters, really. I do plan to get to my Minstrel on Arkenstone, because I want to test these on a Minstrel. And that's the only other character I really planned on. I thought I could go on Luiden, my 130 Warden there, just to check the things at the level cap again and show everybody what it's like actually on a level cap character, even though for me the big appeal to it right now is doing it on level, because for the level cap character I'd have to run through all the quests to unlock the daily and weekly, even though I feel like so there's a base daily and weekly, at least there was in beta, there still is, but with that it used to just be there. Now you have to run through the Elder Slade quests, and the Elder Slade quest will also unlock the additional, I think it's a daily and weekly, but I'm not exactly sure with that one, but it'll unlock like an additional set. And in the beta, that was from these two NPCs, in the regular daily and weekly that everybody could just like instantly boot up was from that NPC, Elof.
Have you come to lend aid to the war effort? I hope you are ready, because I will be putting you to work right away.
A pleasure to meet you. I am Ausma of the Stout Axe clan.
If you actually listen to these NPC dwarfs talk, usually I ignore that stuff in the game, but it actually basically gives you some background on what's going on with the mission. So like one of them said, are you ready to like participate in the war, and they'll need us right away or whatever. And then Ozma said something. And of note with Ozma's voice, I think she is a rare female dwarf. I really don't know if they're supposed to be that rare. I thought the saying was that female dwarves are rare, but basically you can't tell them apart from, or can't tell female and male dwarves apart. Which reminds me of another thing, another one of those just like random scattered thoughts with the missions is, so I'm not much of a player for dwarves. I used to actually just like generally dislike dwarves. But I have grown to not disliking dwarves. I still don't like playing dwarves. To me, it's super weird to try and play a dwarf. I actually did try to play one in around August. I have no idea where the NPC went. There we go. Fortunately, with this mission, you can just run around killing the mobs and the NPC will basically do everything you need. It used to bug out, but it was like just a universal bug out for everybody way early in the beta. Wow, I totally one-shot that orc. Compared to normal landscape mobs, these definitely have less health because I might get close to one-shotting mobs with my hammer attack, hammer down, but I don't think I do actually one-shot mobs even on a big crit like that. Well, it's been a long time since I played the Guardian, but I love their gameplay in the red line. Even the yellow line's not bad, but I just really like the way that it plays. I know it's not the like strongest DPS spec, but it is one of my favorite DPS specs, DPS classes to play, and I know the Guardian's more like oriented towards tanks, so it's a little bit weird because of that, but yeah, just because it's been so long about the Guardian, it's something I'm noticing like really quick just playing here. Alright, so I think I will switch to the yellow line and try to remember how to play it real quick. So we can just run through everything as Ozma signals for me to stop. We'll just ignore that and keep going though. I'm actually aiding more in the war efforts, I would think, by killing these extra mobs. Alright, so I am going to check back on Ozma now, as all these mobs keep pulling. I wonder if it triggers when I go here. The Gundabad Warrior just shouted what, but I think it'll automatically plays even while you're off a little bit, doing other things. Yeah, so now I have all of them. So if the missions themselves aren't too challenging, at least you can make them a little bit challenging by doing something like this. On a tank spec and tank class, I definitely don't consider this like extremely challenging, like particularly challenging though. There's a lot of mobs, so I need to I used my cooldown skill and need to keep up with the gameplay a little bit, but basically safe to AoE, and this is one of the, actually I think it showcases why missions are easy, because I really don't have to pay much attention to the gameplay and I have that many mobs attacking me. A lot of them are even like signatures, but I have absolutely no worry about not surviving that. It's good to see the viewership on the stream is about normal, even though I'm doing this like 3-4 hours later than I normally stream. Yeah, usually I start my streams between 6 and 7 o'clock. If I'm a little bit less busy and have more time, it'll be closer to 6, and usually go to like 9 to 10 o'clock. My time, again, depending on exactly what's going on and exactly what I'm doing. So usually I'm done streaming by now, by a long time, and I think I even started this stream about close to when I'd usually wrap stuff up. And really, I also hope just like running through the missions, people are able to see them, see what they're like, again, see on different classes while I'm talking about it halfway, maybe halfway making sense at least. Okay, so I think we ran through the NPC on the left. I ran through their missions twice, so on this character I'll probably run through the one on the right. Don't know his name, Ozma. So I'll run through her missions on this character. And again, if anybody wants to see a particular class, do let me know and I can switch. I'm basically just running stuff that I can think of at this point. Oh, and we can look at the cosmetic. So I should have gotten a deed bestowed, I think. I think the first one would have done that. Oh, nope, that's Fangorn's Edge. That's from a long time ago if I'm just opening up my bestowed deed for Fangorn's Edge. Let's see, I wonder where this is. I have no idea where this would be. Rovanian? If it's Elder Slate, it would be in Rovanian. I wonder on this server if we just can't do it. I'll have to check maybe Arkenstone or after completing this specific mission, see if it pops up. Yeah, I'll probably run through this one as tank as well. This should be a super quick mission to run through. I keep saying it, but again, that's one of the good things. I know a lot of people maybe wanted them to be more involved, like the individual missions a little bit just longer, I guess. But one of the appeals to me is that I can just run through it super quick and get the mission done. And because there are so many missions, there are 80 missions, it's not that bad of a thing, to me at least. My only problem is I kind of run through all 8 on a single character pretty quickly, especially if I'm familiar with the mission and know like the fast route through it. And since you can pull all these mobs and not really have to worry about that too much, you kind of run out of missions pretty quick at 8. But if you do them on like different characters, I guess if you are a person that plays alts, it allows you to repeat them, even though again, you'd be doing the same one basically like I'm doing today. That's one of the things, just in a short period. We've been going about an hour, but it's one of the things I'm noticing is that I'm just repeating it over and over on different characters. And I know like once you get the daily unlocked, and if they ever change that back to the way it was in beta where you just get the daily and don't have to run through Elder Slate, you'll want to run like 3 on whatever character, but not all 8 of them, and it might get tiring trying all 8 of them. There's pretty much no motivation for somebody to run through all 8 every day, especially after you get the deed completed to complete all 80 of them. And speaking of that, let's see if I did get a deed bestowed, and I did not, so just double checking. I don't have a new deed in Elder Slate. This is Durhands in the Deep. I mean Dour Hands in the Deep. I've always called them Durhands, but I'm pretty sure it's actually pronounced Dour Hand. Probably run through this one the same way I did on my Warden, just pull everything. With the Warden, a lot of them died from damage over time abilities, though, along the way. I think I pulled everything. Oh, that one fell. I don't know if anybody else saw that, but that Dour Hand just like fell down there. Wow, I'm actually took enough damage to die there as I was looking down the little pit thing. But yeah, that was unexpected that dwarf fell. I guess one of the nice things is if you die, it's super easy to get like right back to where you were because these are short as well, so it's not like a huge setback for me. I just didn't expect to, first off, take that much damage, and then once I got distracted, there was like no hope. Wonder if the corruption, if that's doing anything. They have plus 20% damage. Oh, it passes between monsters, empowering them, so probably having them all in AoE didn't help as they were passing the corruption, buffing each other. I want to try to get one of these to jump in that again and probably bug out my progress within the mission a little bit though. I just don't know how that happened. Like something must have gone wrong in the pathing with the NPC, I would think. Hello, Moizimo? If that's even close to how you pronounce that, but you asked if the missions are good for leveling, and that's one of the things I'm trying to discover a little bit today, just running through them on a bunch of different level characters. So far, I would say they seem like a good thing to quickly get some XP, and one thing I've noticed is actually killing the mobs, like the regular mob grind XP, is more significant. Like just a significant part of the XP you get from them. But because they are super quick to run and you have usually quite a few mobs in them, they can be good for leveling with that. At least that's what I think so far. Usually the turn-in for the missions, the like quest component of it, gives about a 1/10 of a level or so, like maybe a 20th, like 5% to 10%, depending on the character level and how many XP boosts you have. Or like right now I'm on the Anor server, so I have minus 40% XP, and then I have plus, it's not really plus 75%, but an extra 75% of the 60%, if that makes any sense. So basically, in short, so far it seems like they're decent for leveling. I don't know, like if you're thinking in terms of comparing it to questing, they may be a little bit similar or faster than that, but compared to skirmishes, maybe also a little bit faster than that, even though you don't get as much XP per mission. They're a lot quicker. And compared to farming org pins, the like most popular method for super quick XP farming, probably slower than that, especially if you run org pins super fast. I have run that with some people, even like duo, down to about 3 minutes per run, so that can be extremely fast. And if these take like 3 minutes each, some of them take a little bit longer, some of them take even shorter than that, but you just don't get as much XP compared to like the dungeon quests. Anyway, I hope that helps with the missions being good for leveling or not. And you can only run 8 of them per day on whatever character, so it's a little bit hard for me to test. Like if I were to test an hour of missions on one character, I couldn't really do that because you can only run 8 per day. Yeah, so usually missions take less than 5 to 10 minutes, I would say. 5 minutes would probably be pretty close to the maximum, actually. So it is pretty fast. I'm actually completed this mission, but again, if I were to do this just for XP, which I'm doing a little bit right now, I'd actually run through and pull all these extra mobs and kill them, because that is a significant part of the XP, it seems like. Yeah, I think it's 10% XP if you have the bonus XP, so the breasted XP / destiny point XP / the daily VIP XP if you are VIP. It's 10% of the level per mission quest, and it seems to be, depending on the exact mission, you might get about that much as well doing the killing the mobs, or like half that much or even twice that much. Like this one I'm getting a ton of mob kill XP because there are a ton of dwarves here for me to kill. Evil dwarves, of course. I would never kill a friendly dwarf. But yeah, with I think as you mentioned, only being able to run 8, that limits it a little bit what you can do per day. It's not like something you can sit here and farm for hours. Which to me is a little bit disappointing if it were to be a method for leveling that you are limited in how many you can run a day. I think you can reset them probably for like mithril coins. Let's actually see. I've completed, I think, completed one on this character. So yeah, I could reset that for 5 mithril coins, but that's totally not worth it. I'm looking at the XP I actually got 5% or so of my level with the bonus XP. A little bit over 5%, but I have 60% XP gain, but I have 50% extra on top of that. So I have about 90% XP compared to somebody without any XP boost. So I'm getting slightly less XP, but then I have that doubled, so I'm actually getting 180% XP, so almost double. I think I'm dropping frames right now, and maybe not dropping frames anymore, but my latency went really high in the game. Hopefully the stream's still surviving, living. Already in use. Yeah, it looks like either I'm disconnecting from LOTRO or I am just totally stuck in game. It looks like the stream is going. I was worried that it was my internet, but I think it is LOTRO not wanting to work. So I think while we are totally lagged out, I might try to switch servers real quick because I need to go to Arkenstone anyway. And we've pretty much done, I think, a good few on this character. So I'll try to log into Arkenstone because I'm stuck here anyway, and just a good opportunity for me to go ahead and do that. Unfortunately, that means I can't turn in the 2 other ones that I've completed. I think I've completed 1 or 2 and need to turn them in. Oh, I got a new deed for Missions War of 3 Peaks after I did that. So I could have looked at that. It looks like Arkenstone, I'm not able to connect. I might end the stream here if I'm not going to get it to work. It looks like everything is not working because I opened the launcher and it automatically logs in, so I selected Arkenstone. And it said getting in line to connect, so then I closed the launcher and reopened it, and now it's installing prereqs. So this is a little bit odd because I don't really know what to do disconnecting in the middle. It could be something that's up in just a couple minutes, or it could be down for an hour, or half off, half down, half working. And GSC Gold, it sounds like you're having issues as well getting into Arkenstone. Let me turn on display capture. This is what the launcher looks like for me. It's just installing prereqs. So that is what is going on. So I'm at a loss of what to do, unfortunately. I'll give this a couple more minutes. I really don't have anything to put up on the stream while I'm just waiting. I'll try to close and open the launcher again, see if that does anything. Yeah, so something for me to talk about while we are staring at the disconnect screen. I wonder if there's something I could put up at least. I have an idea. Okay. Put this here. Oop. Alright, so that is full screen. And I should have something that can see this, hopefully. There we go. So what you are seeing is actually earlier in the stream. This is just a random point. This is actually the stream playing on the stream. rewind it a little bit. This was when I was playing the hunter. Maybe I'll switch to something. Actually, this hunter one's a little bit good. But anyway, I just want to talk a little bit about the missions, I guess, while we have this in the background, because I cannot play right now. And Andrew McKinnon, it sounds like you're having issues with Landreval, and May, you're also unable to log in. So it sounds like there's just a bunch of issues going on right now. Everybody's disconnected. I wish there was a way I could say this is like playback. Maybe I could just have all this annoying stuff open the whole time. But it's really weird watching a playback of the stream as I am streaming. But anyway, a little bit about the missions is, I wonder, I could try logging back in. So I'll close the launcher. And yeah, it's still stuck on installing prereqs. Thought I'd check that again, but anyway, man, this has me totally distracted. I want to summarize my thoughts on the missions while I just had this up in the background so we weren't staring at a disconnected screen. Basically with the missions, I think I've been talking about this throughout the whole stream, of course, but I feel like a lot of the ideas from them are good, but the implementation not so much. So one of the big things is lack of reward, so I never really feel motivated to run them. It seems like the website is also down for LOTRO. That is odd. I will try that as well. Try going on that. So far I am just spinning and spinning. Yeah, the website isn't loading for me as well. And this is super weird because it really just totally interrupted the stream. I was not prepared for anything like this. But yeah, with the missions, thinking back to what the developer Made of Lion said about it, I agree with a lot of the ideas that the mission system is just like something that I think would be exciting to explore in the future. It allows new players to continue to participate in the new content, so like they can participate in the war efforts with the leading up to the Gundabad area, the dwarves retaking that from the orcs. I'm once again trying to talk about all this stuff as I'm like distracted. Usually when I'm talking about stuff in a stream, I'm like playing, so I at least have something to do, and right now I'm just like looking at the screen, and it's a little bit weird that somehow watching something for me makes it harder to talk about the thing than actually actively playing. But anyway, I guess the best way to summarize it is missions are fun, but I feel like I won't have much motivation to run them. You can only run 8 a day, so as far as like a leveling method, you're a little bit limited on that. You could run just 8 a day on a character and level them through missions, but then you also won't get gear and stuff like that. I can skip around a little bit while I am slowly typing, it looks like, and switching specs to Blue Line. And then I poorly played Blue Line throughout this fight, but I guess we can watch that. Go back to the beginning of it. And GSC Gold, you do not gain virtue points for missions. So that's actually one of the things in all my videos leading up, like during the beta for this, I talked about virtue XP would be the perfect thing to have in missions because it could apply for level 20s, level 130s, basically every level range. It's something you could have as a universal reward for missions, that every character and every level player, they could use that. And I feel like it would be a perfect thing, and unfortunately, missions do not give virtue XP, but if you complete the meta deed to do 80 missions, I'm going to check this one more time. If you do the meta deed to complete 80 missions, I think that rewards 10,000 virtue XP. Looks like it's still not working. Oh yeah, this was a fun mission. I think the one to defeat the big warg. I might have skipped around too much in this. I just pressed like the fast forward button twice and it looks like I'm buffering now. Probably. I don't know if it's much with my network since I'm trying to do the playback while I'm streaming it. Probably taking up a decent chunk of my bandwidth. Normally I shouldn't have this issue though, I don't think. There we go. So Andrew McKinnon, I agree with you. Newbies who run missions will at least have a nice stash of scrolls and crystals when they hit level 100. If they fix that the daily and weekly quests don't appear until you finish the Elder Slade Zone, the quest there. So far we can't actually get the daily or weekly to get those scrolls and crystals. Because we don't have the weekly quest and daily quest available unless, again, you complete the full Elder Slade Zone, it sounds like. I haven't done that to know for sure, like, firsthand, but that's pretty much what people have been saying. Unfortunately, this is, like, buffering. Maybe I'll skip a little bit and see if it works. This was also a fun mission. I think this one was a great example of something you could boot up real quick and kill a few signature trolls and just be done. It's a couple minutes. And a great thing for that. So GSC Gold, you get from the daily quest you can choose, or from the weekly quest, you could choose between one max tier Starlight Crystal or one max tier Scroll of Empowerment. So unfortunately with that it is a max tier thing, so it's only effective up to a certain point. And what was the other thing with that? And you do have to choose. It's like once a week. Basically, if you complete the daily quest 4 times that week, you can get 3 of the Scrolls of Empowerment or the Starlit Crystal. So it would help a little bit by level 100. So yeah, this one was a lot easier on the Warden than the Guardian, I think. I think because my Warden was able to kill stuff a lot faster. I can try to go back to the beginning here. I didn't mean to skip that far ahead when I did, but yeah, with the Warden I would put like my range resounding challenge damage over time. And I think it just went by a lot faster because of that. Compared to the Guardian, who I had to run into melee and they'd had that corruption and just did a lot of damage for me, so I couldn't quite do as much. Hey Vegas XD, and yeah, it looks like you're also running into server issues. Oh, you could, that was before you could loot the last chest. You were running your friend through the first instance. That is bad timing. There's like, yeah, a lot of situations. Somebody might be like AFK and ready to get off, and that's no problem. But you know, for a lot of people in the middle of something, it always sucks when disconnects like this happen. Which, I don't know. Somehow I feel like the stream is going okay, even though we're not actually able to play. This is, I guess for anybody watching that isn't aware, this is a playback. This is actually the stream from earlier. I'm just replaying, so I have something to show on the screen besides my disconnect. This is what's going on in my LOTRO window, or what went on. But yeah, I don't think the servers are going to come back up, so I should probably get towards wrapping up the stream. If anybody wants to talk about anything with the missions again, I would be happy to cover any last points, especially because this stream I've just been so scattered-brained, I guess. It seems like just talking about things as they come up, as they come to mind, which is okay, and talking to people about it as it's come up in chat. And that's sometimes just the way streams are, I guess. It's compared to like a proper video. When I make videos, usually I'm actually able to focus and I have like points written down to actually talk about certain things and have structure to those, so with streams it always feels like I'm off rambling, repeating, and that type of stuff. But anyway, yeah, if anybody just wanted to talk about anything, I'll stay here for a couple minutes. We can skip this a little bit. Stay for a couple minutes and see if the server comes back up. What is this one? This was Frostcaller 2 Ghost. I remember running this one on the Warden, of course, but I think it was... I don't think this is one of the ones I did not get to on the Guardian, basically, to compare that. I don't know where Vorkador is. I wonder if that's an Elder Slate or one of the other zones. It has a bunch of hobgoblins, so it would make me think Elder Slate, but I'm not entirely sure. Hobgoblins might have been in a different zone, I don't really remember. Or that could have also been Arid Mithrin, I guess, I don't know. It's one of the interesting things about the missions is they take you to so many places, but sometimes it's hard to tell if you're just like in the cave exactly where it is. But yeah, I'll check the servers one more time. And then probably get wrapped up with the stream, I guess, while I'm doing that. To talk about future content. So probably tomorrow I'll probably get started on the... Yeah, it looks like we're still installing prereqs. So actually I wonder if I can log out. So I'm going to turn display capture off real quick. Yeah, don't have a logout option. There we go. We can go back to this. Oh yeah, this was when I was defeating the 3 Wardens. I guess I should rewind back to the beginning. Yeah, this mission probably only took about a minute on this character, maybe 1 to 2 minutes. So Vegas, you said your friend just started playing and you're leveling a captain with him. Captain's a good class to level with somebody, and you all just made it to level 20 and jumped into the maze, killed everything, and servers went down before you could loot, and you'll try again tomorrow, yeah. Fortunately, with instances, you can just replay them very easily. It sucks that you lose the progress, and of course don't get the loot sometimes. At least now, instances, the scaling ones have like proper loot again. Even if sometimes it's pretty good, sometimes it's not as good as like crafting gear, usually better than quest gear or random mob gear, but yeah, at least there is loot to be excited about. And you always have the chance of getting like a stat tome or something. But anyway, tomorrow, I think I will start like the Legacy of Durin, continuing the book quest maybe, or starting the actual Wells or the Elder Slade zone on Louisden, as far as the stream I plan to do. And then also tomorrow, because I'll be a little bit less busy, I might actually get to working on a video. I plan to do a video just like going through the different additions that you can get with the War of Three Peaks, even though it's a little bit late to be covering that because they released what are in the different bundles like when the update went live, so this is not something I can do like before the update to show it off. That would be pretty neat if I could, but or at least it would be nice that I could talk about it even if I couldn't actually show this stuff. But anyway, that's my plans for videos. I also do plan to do like proper videos talking about the missions. One of the things that came up is actually comparing missions to skirmishes. I plan to cover that in a video as like a random thing. But it is way too late for me to think about much, and I'll just ramble on, repeat myself basically all the stuff I talked about on the stream. But yeah, as far as the stream goes, I hope you all enjoyed it, and I hope you all learned about the mission system throughout this, and all the different stuff going on with it, and were able to at least enjoy the gameplay. And yeah, with the server issues, unfortunately, I couldn't get to all I wanted to do. Like, I wanted to check it out on the Minstrel. I thought that would be a fun clash to check it on and see how they performed in it. Otherwise, I did do the Guardian and Hunter. Those were 2 classes I wanted to check it on, and also wanted to go through it on the Sword just to get the XP, to be honest. Yeah, again, this is super weird for me because the servers are down and I'm just like, I have this at replay. This was one of my favorite missions of the ones we ran, but anyway, I should go ahead and get finished with this. So again, with the stream, I hope you all did enjoy it and learned about the mission system. And if you did, please consider liking and subscribing for more, and consider becoming a channel member to support the content. And thanks for joining in, chatting, and watching, everyone.